Thoughts? Have you caught yourself stuck in overthinking, wondering if you're making the right decisions, only to end up confused, anxious, or frozen in fear? If yes, you're not alone. Most of us have a cluttered mind that constantly runs in different directions, filled with fear, doubt, and unnecessary noise. Darius Farrow's book, Think Straight, offers one powerful promise. If you learn to control your thoughts, you can control your life. And he doesn't mean through complicated psychological theories or spiritual practices. He means through practical, daily thinking habits that anyone can learn. The core idea of Think Straight is simple. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. If you can train your mind to think clearly, you will make better choices, reduce anxiety, become more productive, and enjoy a better life. But most of us do the opposite. We overthink, overreact, and overconsume, which leads to a foggy mind and a life full of stress. Let's now break down the ideas in this book, step by step, in a deeply practical way. 1. Your thoughts are not always true. The first and most powerful idea in the book is this: just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean it's true. Your brain constantly throws thoughts at you, some useful, some harmful, some completely random. But most people believe every thought that pops into their head. That's the biggest mistake. Imagine you have a friend who always gives bad advice. Would you listen to them all the time? Probably not. But your brain can be that annoying friend. It can say things like, "You're not good enough," or "Everyone is judging you." Darius teaches that your first job is to realize that not all thoughts are worth believing. Thoughts are suggestions, not commands. 2. You can choose what to think. The second big idea is freedom of choice. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thoughts to follow. This is a radical shift. Most people think that thoughts happen to them, but Darius shows that you can become the observer. When you observe a thought, instead of reacting, you create distance between yourself and your mind. You can ask, is this thought helpful or not? If not, let it go. You don't need to wrestle with it. Just say, not useful, and move on. This habit of choosing your thoughts with builds clarity over time. It takes practice, but once mastered, it changes how you live. 3. Overthinking destroys clarity. One of the main enemies of a peaceful life is overthinking. Many people believe that thinking more means being more intelligent, but it's not true. Smart thinking is not the same as excessive thinking. Overthinking makes you slow, anxious, and unsure. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle while someone keeps shouting random numbers in your ear. That's what overthinking does. It clutters your mind and kills your focus. The solution is not to think more, but to think clearly. And the first step toward clear thinking is learning to recognize when you're overthinking and to stop it. 4. Thinking is useful only if it leads to action or clarity. Darius teaches that thinking is a tool. It's useful when it helps you make a decision, solve a problem, or gain clarity. But if thinking only leads to more thinking, it's useless. This is called mental spinning. Many people stay stuck in this loop. They think about doing something, then think about the risks, then think about what others might think, and then go back to thinking again. In the end, they do nothing. That's wasted energy. Clear thinking, on the other hand, leads to simple conclusions. It says, okay, this is the best option. Let's try it. And if it doesn't work, we'll adjust. Action is the goal, not endless mental gymnastics. Clean your mental space like you clean your room. Just like your room or phone gets cluttered, your mind also collects junk. Useless thoughts, regrets, imaginary arguments, fears, and random distractions. If you don't clean your mind, it becomes hard to focus. Darius suggests treating your mind like a living space. Every day, take time to clean it. You can do this by writing down your thoughts, talking to a trusted person, going for a walk, meditating, or even doing nothing for a few minutes. When your mental space is clean, you can think faster, better, and with more calm. 6. Write it out. Journaling clears mental fog. Writing is one of the most powerful tools for mental clarity. When you write, you take a thought from your mind and put it on paper. This frees up space in your brain and helps you see your thoughts clearly. Darius recommends keeping a simple journal. You don't need to write essays. Just write what you're feeling, what you're thinking about, and what decisions you're trying to make. Over time, this habit helps you understand how your mind works. It also helps you notice patterns, like what triggers your overthinking or what helps you feel calm. 7. Focus on what you can control. A big reason for stress is trying to control things we cannot, like the future, other people's opinions, or the past. Darius says, focus only on what you can control: your actions, your decisions, and your attitude. When you stop wasting energy on things beyond your control, you gain peace and power. For example, instead of worrying about whether people will like your project, focus on making it the best you can. Instead of regretting the past, focus on what you can do today. This shift in focus can dramatically reduce anxiety and improve results. 8. Limit your input. The mind needs less, not more. We live in an age of information overload. News, social media, podcasts, videos all compete for our attention. But the mind, like the stomach, cannot digest everything. Too much input creates mental constipation. Darius suggests being very selective about what you consume. Don't read every article. Don't follow every trending topic. Instead, pick a few high quality sources and stick to them. Give your brain space to process and create. If your mind is always full, there's no room for original thought. 9. Schedule time to think. One of the most surprising tips in the book is to actually schedule time just for thinking. This may sound strange, but it works. Set aside 15 to 30 minutes a day where you do nothing but think. Sit with a notebook and ask yourself simple questions like, what am I trying to achieve? What's bothering me? What's the next step? This habit builds self-awareness. It helps you solve problems before they grow. It also creates discipline in your thinking, just like exercising builds discipline in your body. 10. Ask better questions. The quality of your thoughts depends on the quality of your questions. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what's the worst that can happen? Instead of asking, will they like me? Ask, am I being true to myself? These kinds of questions change your mindset from fear to clarity. Good thinkers are not people with perfect answers. They are people with powerful questions. Whenever you feel stuck, pause and ask, what exactly am I afraid of? Or what's the real issue here? Often, the right question clears away the fog. 11. Clarity is power. When you have clarity, everything becomes easier. You don't waste time. You don't get stuck in loops. You know what you're doing and why. Clarity gives you speed and confidence. Darius repeats this idea often in the book. Clarity equals power. That's why the whole point of thinking straight is not to be right, but to be clear. A clear mind makes better decisions, faster actions, and calmer emotions. 12. Build habits that support clear thinking. Thinking clearly is not something that happens once. It's a daily discipline. And the best way to support it is by building habits that keep your mind sharp. Darius recommends a few simple ones. Read daily. Not just news, but books that expand your thinking. Sleep well. A tired brain cannot think clearly. Move your body. Exercise improves mental focus. Avoid toxic people and gossip. Drama clutters the mind. Reflect weekly. Ask what's working and what needs to change. These small habits build a mental environment where clear thinking becomes automatic. 13. Avoid mental multitasking. Multitasking doesn't work. Science has proven that the brain cannot do two focused tasks at the same time. When you switch between tasks, you lose energy and attention. Darius advises doing one thing at a time. When you're writing, write. When you're eating, eat. When you're talking to someone, listen fully. This sounds simple, but most people never do it. They live in a constant state of partial attention. Clear thinking requires full attention. Train your mind to be fully present. 14. Don't let emotions run the show. Emotions are important, but they should not control your thinking. Often, we make decisions in anger, fear, or excitement and regret them later. Darius teaches that emotions are signals, not commands. You should listen to them, but then pause. Let the emotions settle before you decide. If you if you're angry, wait before you speak. If you're afraid, ask what exactly you fear. If you're excited, make sure you're not rushing into something. Thinking straight means balancing logic and emotion, not letting either take full control. 15. Say no to most things. A cluttered life leads to a cluttered mind. One of the reasons people feel overwhelmed is because they say yes to everything. Darius reminds us that every yes is a no to something else. If you say yes to 5 different commitments, you're saying no to focus, rest, and quality work. Learning to say no is not about being rude. It's about protecting your mind. The more space you have, the better you can think. Make fewer decisions, but make them with clarity. 16. The goal is peace, not perfection. Finally, Darius emphasizes that the goal of thinking straight is not to become perfect, it's to live with peace, clarity, and purpose. You will still make mistakes, you will still have bad days, but with clear thinking, you recover faster, you suffer less, you waste less energy, you live more intentionally. And that's the real reward. 17. Final thoughts and daily reminders. Thinking clearly is a skill, not a talent. It can be practiced and improved. The more you observe your thoughts, the more you control them. The more you simplify your life, the more mental space you have. The more action you take, the less confusion you feel.